Hello again. This is Weeby, and I'm presenting my collection of VHS tapes, Part 4. Okay, let's begin. This is a Paramount Studios movie, 1950. Gloria Swanson, William Holden, Eric von Stroheim, and Nancy Olson in Sunset Boulevard. Columbia Pictures. Let me see, what's the date on this one now? Must be 1964. Yes, 1964. Jack Lemmon, Romy Schneider in Good Neighbor Sam. (1963), Columbia Pictures, James Darren, Jesse Royce Landis, Cesar Danova in Gidget Goes to Rome. This next movie has become a cult classic, put out by HBO, 1994. Kathleen Turner, Ricki Lake, Sam Waterston, and Suzanne Summers in Serial Mom. This next one is a Fine Line or New Line home video, 1994. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Campbell Scott, Matthew Broderick in Mrs. Parker and the Vicious Circle, based on the life of Dorothy Parker. Touch Tone home video, Gerard Depardieu and Andie MacDowell in Green Card. Lightning Video, 1978. Elizabeth Taylor, Joseph Bottoms in Return Engagement. Granada Video in Canada, 1983. Maggie Smith in Mrs. Silly. Columbia Pictures, 1993. Matthew Modine, Lara Flynn Boyle, Marissa Tomei, Laurie Singer, and Fred Ward in Equinox. Orion Pictures, 1990. Woody Allen, Alec Baldwin, Blythe Danner, Judy Davis, Mia Farrow, William Hurt, Kai Luke, Joe Mantegna, Bernadette Peters, Sybil Shepherd, and Gwen Verdon in Alice. This next video is a British movie, 1973, Waterbearer Films, stars Liz Smith in Hard Labor. This next one is a Walt Disney classic, Walt Disney Studios, 1961. Hayley Mills, Maureen O'Hara, Brian Keith in The Parent Trap. This is a TV show, Columbia Colligems Productions, mid-1960s. Sally Field, Don Porter in Gidget. Western Video, 1980. Richard Burton, Tatum O'Neal in Circle of Two. This next one was pretty popular. Miramax Productions, 1997. It won Best Picture of the Year. Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Minnie Driver in Good Will Hunting. This next one is put out by 20th Century Fox. It's a Rodgers and Hammerstein production, 1965. Leslie Ann Warren, Joe Van Fleet, Barbara Ruick, Pat Carroll in Cinderella. This next one is put out by MGM Studios, 1991. John Candy, Muriel Hemingway in Delirious. Columbia Studios, 1994. Eric Stoltz, Mary Louise Parker, Ralph Macchio, Jill Clayburgh, Tony Curtis, Timothy Dalton, Kathleen Turner, and Whoopi Goldberg in Naked in New York. This next one was a television special on CBS, 1964. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Remembered. Universal Studio excuse me, Universal Studios, 1972. Robert Young in All My Darling Daughters. I'm going to take another drink. That's water, nothing stronger. Okay, let's continue. MGM Studios. And I don't see a date on this one. Maybe 1992. Well, no, that's not this movie. But it has Anthony Hopkins, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Derek Jacobi in The 10th Man. HBO Video, Miramax Productions, 1990. Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. MGM Studios, 1994. Charles Grodin, Karen Culkin, and Mary Steenburgen. My Summer Story. This next movie is a Christmas movie, 1977. And has Ed Asner, Maureen Stapleton. The Gathering. Okay, this next one is a HBO Canon video. Let me see if there's a date here. 1986. Woody Allen, Michael Caine, Mia Farrow, Carrie Fisher, Barbara Hershey, Lloyd Nolan, Maureen O'Sullivan, Daniel Stern, Max von Sydow, and Diane Wiest in Hannah and Her Sisters. This next movie became a cult classic, put out by Warner Brothers Studios, 1980. Julie Andrews, James Garner, Robert Preston, and Leslie Ann Warren in Victoria. MGM Studios, 1960. Elizabeth Taylor, Lawrence Harvey, Eddie Fisher, and I can't remember the other two actors in here, in Butterfield 8. This is a great movie. Okay, Columbia Movies, 1996. Barbra Streisand, Jeff Bridges, Lauren Bacall in The Mirror Has Two Faces. Artisan Entertainment. Let me see if there's a date. 1999. Alan Rickman, Polly Walker, Norman Reedus in Dark Harbor. This next movie is one of my favorites. It's a Showtime, put out by Sony Picture Classics. The date, I believe, is 2000, with Gillian Anderson, Dan Aykroyd, Terry Kinney, Anthony LaPaglia, Laura Linney, and Eric Stoltz in The House of Mirth. This next one is a cartoon put out by MGM, and it's Bugs Bunny in the golden age of Looney Tunes. Hooray for Hollywood. This next one is a classic, 1966, Paramount Pictures, Charles Schulz, A Charlie Brown Christmas. Okay, 20th Century Fox. Let me see if there's a date on this. 1998. Ethan Hawke, Gwyneth Paltrow, Anne Bancroft, Robert De Niro in Great Expectations. This next movie is also a cult favorite. It is put out on 20th Century Fox. I believe this came out, 1997. Robert Carlyle, Tom Wilkinson, Mark Addy in The Full Monty. Abbott Home Entertainment, 1994. John Candy, Richard Lewis, Wagons East. Columbia, Sony Picture Classics, 1998. Aidan Quinn, James Caan, Stephen Ray, John Cusack in This Is My Father. Hollywood Pictures, a division of Walt Disney Studios. William Baldwin, John Leguizamo, Sadie Frost, and Erika Eleniak in A Pyromaniac's Love Story. Samuel Golden Studios, 1978. Glenda Jackson and Mona Washburn and Trevor Howard in Stevie. This next one is a biography put out by Kartz Video Communication, and it is Montgomery Clift. This next one is a classic, 1953, I think. Marilyn Monroe in The 7-Year Itch. MGM Studios. Let me find the date here. I know it was on here before. It's 1950 something. Oh, 1958. Montgomery Clift, Robert Ryan, Myrna Loy in Lonely Hearts. This is a HBO movie, 1985. Glenda Jackson, Julie Christie, Anne Margaret, and Alan Bates. The Return of the Soldier. Universal Pictures, 1999. Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins, Claire Forlani in Meet Joe Black. This is a classic movie, Paramount Pictures, 1960. Audrey Hepburn, George Peppard, and other stars in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Columbia Pictures, 1961. James Darren, Michael Callan, Deborah Walley in Gidget Goes Hawaiian. Columbia Pictures, 1986, I believe. Is there a date on this? 1986, I think this is. Anthony Hopkins and Bancroft in 84, Charing Cross Road. New Line Home Entertainment, 2000, with Alec Baldwin, Charles Durning, Clark Gregg, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Patti LuPone, William H. Macy, Sarah Jessica Parker, David Palmer, Rebecca Pidgeon, and Julia Stiles in State and Maine. Twentieth Century Fox, 1998, Jennifer Aniston, Paul Rudd, The Object of My Affection. This is from Janus Films. It's a Merchant Ivory production, 1979. Lee Remick in The Europeans. Okay, 20th Century Fox Studios, 1956. Marilyn Monroe, Don Murray, Arthur O'Connell, Betty Field, and Eileen Heckart in Bus Stop. And the last movie for this video is a WinStar production. Let me see if there's a date. I don't see a particular date on here, but it stars Eric Mabius. You might remember him from Ugly Betty. He played Betty's boss. And the title is Wiry Spindle. Well, that is it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're well rested and even asleep. And I thank you for watching the video. And next comes VHS Tapes Collection number 5. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.